Yeah.
Next item on the list. We have an official video game Hall of Fame that had its first members inducted last week. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read them. We're gonna react to what got in, and then we're gonna talk about what should have maybe gotten in that didn't get in. All right.
Nothing.
So we had Doom get in, which was one of the first 3D first-person shooter games. So, and a lot of people in the chat are excited about the possibility of a new Doom. Well, Bethesda talking about Doom in their conference. Pac-Man made it in. Pong made it in. Super Mario Brothers, Tetris, and World of Warcraft. So those were the games that made up the inaugural class of the Video Game Hall of Fame.
One of these things is not like
that's what
the
I was
other.
gonna say. I understand that World of Warcraft's a big deal, and it always has been since its inception. But every other 8-bit game in there, and then you make the jump to World of Warcraft. Like,
I think the whole thing is like changing the game changers.
yeah, I understand that. I mean, they're all pretty standard.
At first, I was cool with WoW because I'm like, all right, these are kind of like the founding fathers of all the modern genres. But really, WoW has more like the early Final Fantasy games. Maybe would have been a better choice for that slot.
Right, but World of Warcraft really implemented the online stuff in a unique way.
The Murpurg.
That really consumed people's lives.
Right.
We know people who failed college for no other reason but World of Warcraft. And, I mean, with that amount of intelligence, they probably would have failed going to class, too. But regardless, the immediate cause of the problem was World of Warcraft. And I agree with it being on there because it was the first of its kind, this massive online multiplayer. That just sucked people in. Mm-hmm. And it was also the first highly successful game to use the pricing model that it used, where it was kind of a platform of releasing, content on top of the platform. So I totally agree with that being in there.
I agree with it. I think maybe it would have been great for next year's round, though.
That's a good point, especially because, well, I don't want to step on Ben's funk. He didn't put anything in the show notes, but I'm still not going to step on the funk.
That's okay. I'm sorry.
So bring the funk, Ben.
Wait, is there
Funk it up.
people take their sides? Nobody takes sides.
No.
on anything.
You said you had two games that you thought.
Well, here, wait. I'll say this since mine's in there.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I'm totally cool with this list. These are the founding fathers of these games. Blah blah blah. All right, go ahead, Ben.
Okay, cool. There's.
I forgot you were red. I'm sorry.
For me, I have a couple qualms with this list, but I can't justify removing anybody to add who I would like to see in the list.
But
Does
I
that make
don't
sense?
necessarily think. I mean, it's like I don't think it's like that. I think you can have as many as you want, but I don't think there's a limit to 6 per year.
Well, in the article we read, there was a group of 15 that got cut down to 6 to go into the
Right,
Hall of
but
Fame.
I don't think the point was we have to limit it to 6. Mm-hmm. I think they just opened it up and whoever got the vote got in.
There's two that I would add from the list of the 15 that got yanked out of those would be Minecraft. Hang on to me there with that one, and Space Invaders. I bet you thought I was going Pokemon, didn't you?
No, well, I mean, no. I didn't know where you were going.
Okay.
But go ahead.
I still don't.
Minecraft. Minecraft is actually. You guys may not know this, but I'll give you the inside scoop. In a lot of our area schools now, they're actually going to use Minecraft to teach like architecture and stuff. To like, they have to go in and use the blocks to make it in a certain way that
to show kids that like if you cut the bottom section of a tree out, the rest of it won't fall.
Right. Yeah.
And but they have probably to calm down those aggressive kids with the music in the background.
Yeah. But they have to use that to build like certain era types of architecture, like how I don't know how to explain it, but that along with that and the fact that this is the first game where you have gone into a world and you, short of like being a programmer and doing it yourself, you've gone into a world and you have created a world that is your creation from this world that you're thrown into. You know what I'm saying? Like, you take the materials, you build what you want out of it. It's the first of its kind, really. And it's given a building block to so many other opportunities outside of the gaming world, like educational, and I don't know. For me, that just seems like a good would have been a good addition. And the Space Invaders, I'll defend that for a second. That is with me right along with the start of the gaming era. I think about like Pac-Man and Asteroids. I actually bought Dad like a plug and play for Father's Day one year, and it had like Pac-Man and Space Invaders and Asteroids and like this old like 8-bit racing game that was really awesome. But that like I don't know, that like broke the mold with the shooters, and that's like the first like shooter game I can remember that was, I don't know, I guess that was arcadey enough and caught your attention enough to keep you coming back to it. And I know Doom's on this list, and Doom was like the shooter of shooters when it came out. But for me, Space Invaders just is even more classic than Doom. So,
see, I don't think you can argue with the success of Minecraft. I mean, it allowed a studio to be sold for $2.5 billion, and it was like a very small project when it originated. However, it made variations on other things, but it wasn't the first world building game. There are other games, not like Minecraft. Like SimCity is very close, very similar to Minecraft style, where you were building a city from nothing. Now you're not collecting supplies in order to do that, but like you can see that Minecraft is inspired by games like that.
Well, see, for SimCity though, you build structures, and then those structures gain you resources to build other structures. For Minecraft, you have to go and collect all the resources that you're going to collect to build structures. Like you have to gain those, like within there's you have to build like certain, and you have limits on certain things within SimCity too. Like you can only have so many fire departments here, so many police departments
They're both
here.
very different games, but they're both world building games, and I think that's what.
Yeah, that's my point.
Kinda-
It's like all the games in this list pioneered genres of games, or pioneered video games as a whole. And Minecraft really hasn't, other than Lego World that was announced for PC and is in early access on PC. There's nothing really Minecraft-like out there right now. Like Minecraft was successful in and of itself in a vacuum, but it didn't really spawn other games like it.
I would say Minecraft's probably a second draft, third draft.
Yeah.
Maybe like next year, something like that. Like kind of progress through time, sort of like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame works or anything like that.
Yeah, and I don't want to. I'm not diminishing the value of Minecraft by any means, and there's going to come a day where it will. But talking about one of these things is not like the other. Minecraft, all of these games pioneered something, and I'm not sure if Minecraft hasn't showed a longevity of pioneering games like it. Minecraft has shown longevity in and of itself. But
I don't know if you really can replicate something like Minecraft. I mean, you can do like Lego can try
yeah, I was gonna
with
say,
that.
what's Lego World do?
I mean, they can, but what I mean, the first thing that I thought of when I saw the Lego World trailer was like, why are they doing this? We have Minecraft. Like, there's no need for this. Like, there are things that they're doing that are nuances of it, but there's just, I don't know. For me, it doesn't seem. I don't think that a game needs to necessarily spawn a bunch of people innovating that game for it to be considered Hall of Fame worthy, I guess.
But the thing, like, everyone that played these games, they were like, man, Doom, this is the pinnacle of gaming.
Yeah.
Gaming doesn't get better than Pac-Man. It's not going to get better than Pac-Man. And someone's always going to iterate in a better way.
Yeah.
And so with Minecraft, when someone comes up with a hyper-realistic where I can build things in a circle rather than in a square, that's automatically going to be better than Minecraft for me. If it's the same exact concept, I can just build in circles.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to build a basketball stadium right now in Minecraft, and it's really hard.
It's circular if you get far enough away from it.
It's still a square.
No, I see what you're saying, and I think in order for something, that's why I say I can't argue with if it were like a removal and add scenario within these inductees, I couldn't argue with taking anybody out to put Minecraft in there, because I think that to some degree, in order to be considered a pioneer, be considered the crux of gaming, which that's what you're saying by a Hall of Fame. Like, you have to inspire some amount of innovation from your core game, and like you're saying, you got a lot of all these games have done that, and which I don't know not to keep argument going, but what did Pac-Man pioneer? Other than more Pac-Man
Gaming
games?
in general.
Well, Pong was before Pac-Man.
Pong too, but like Pac-Man's one of those things that everyone has played, and people still play today. Like, I can go to Najar's Pizza if they still have that. They
Yeah,
did
they
like,
did.
They had like a year ago,
Um,
and you can go and sit down and play Pac-Man right there.
Was Pac-Man before? It was before Mario, right?
Yeah.
So would it have pioneered power-ups?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe I don't know. I don't know what game started that.
Maybe even platforming to a degree. I don't know if.
Well,
And between Pong and Mario, Pac-Man added a level of complexity that games hadn't had yet, really.
and character conflict, between Pac-Man and the ghosts.
Yeah.
In like in ways a combat system, in consuming the big balls that turn the ghost into edible materials.
Mm.
Whereas Pong was just
Was-
few paddles.
yeah.
The conflict was between the players and not between characters. I'm not disagreeing at all with what you're saying about
Oh, no.
Minecraft.
Yeah.
So, any games?
Interesting conversation. I'm just trying to keep going.
This is something I've never been able to bring up in a gaming conversation, and now is the closest I'm ever going to get to a good time to bring it up.
Okay.
Is anyone else wildly attracted?
To Mrs. Pac-Man. They talked about that in Wayne's World, didn't they? Anyway,
Fourth wall.
the greatest retro game of all time from the Pac-Man Space Invaders generation that just does not get the appreciation that it deserves in my humble but should be elevated opinion is Defender. Any of you ever played that?
I think I have.
I don't even know what it
was
is.
the first side-scrolling game I can remember. You were a ship, and when you flew to the edge of the map, it just kept going. And
Mm.
ultimately, you're in this circular map. But you're shooting aliens that are coming down from the skies. There are little people on the ground the aliens are picking up and trying to carry away, and you've got to save all the people.
Basically like Resogun.
Maybe.
Resogun's sort of a Defender
Yeah.
ripoff.
Huh.
Yeah, that's cool.
But, hardly anybody knows about that game. But it was, way ahead of its time as far as, rescuing the civilians. And I don't
That
know.
sounds exactly like Resogun.
There was a remake for it for the GameCube, which was fantastic and also underappreciated.
Awesome. I'm glad you got a chance to bring that up, Larry.
Thanks. Now I'm going to find a billion opportunities.
Is there
Also, their ships. What a Defender knockoff.
That is the first thing that came to my mind when he started talking about it. Resogun.
any other games that you feel like were kind of left off this list?
I just felt it was all pretty standard, which is a good thing. I mean, it's really hard to argue with these things. I like they mentioned things like Legend of Zelda, and they even mentioned Minecraft, which is indicating that that will be included on these things eventually. No one can argue how influential Minecraft is.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the great thing about gaming is that it's got such a long, rich history over a short period of time. I mean,
Yeah.
really since the 80s, this kind of industry has evolved so much, and it's only got further and further to go until we live in a video game.
And like you're saying, this is just the first year. So if Minecraft were on this list in 6 years, I would have a big gripe. If Minecraft were on this list in 3 years, I would probably still have a big gripe. But
If
Yeah.
Minecraft isn't on this list tomorrow, I will have a big gripe.
but I mean, it's it's like you're saying, it's the first year, so that you can't get too upset about.
Yeah,
It's a solid list.
The only game that I was really I feel like it should have been in the honors of that first class was Zelda. Because Zelda kind of pioneered what's the word I'm looking for?
RPG.
Yeah, really.
I would pull WoW and put Zelda.
Yeah, because WoW is a byproduct in some way. It is the iteration of an iteration of an iteration of Zelda.
Yeah.
Just on a much more massive scale with many more decisions and character kinds that you can play as.
I guess you could go back to Mario as being the first, you're playing as Mario, but it's not on the same scale as Zelda.
Right.
It couldn't be an RPG.
Yeah, as a genre though, and as a concept.
Yeah.
Zelda is really what pioneered RPGs. Let me just mention something in the chat here. Job of the Pug, awesome name by the way, says Lego Worlds is kind of a copy of Minecraft, but worse. I think Lego saw how good Minecraft was and wanted to be like them. And I think what's important to understand, we think we talked about this last week, was that Minecraft was heavily inspired by Lego.
Yeah. We
And-
had that kind of argument, or not argument, but discussion.
Yeah, and so Minecraft is sort of a video game Lego. They looked at Legos and thought, man, how cool would it be to be able to play that on a console? And now Lego is being inspired by Minecraft, and it all just comes full circle. And I wouldn't call it a copy. There's plenty of different things, but
Yeah.
listen to last week's episode if you're interested in a discussion about Lego Dimensions.
Yeah. As far as it coming full circle, I've just been sitting here thinking, Minecraft is inspired by a lot of different things. but bringing them all together is what makes it innovative.
Mhm.
There have been building games.
It's a
There have been
nice
games where you gotta eat
melange.
to survive. There have been farming games. But like to cram all that in one game was really cool.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Farming Simulator 14 should have been inducted into the Hall of
We
Fame.
should play some Minecraft for real. This is the second week we've talked about Minecraft
I
on the
was playing
podcast, and I'm
Minecraft.
like, I want to play it.
I played Minecraft all last week on the Vita. You should go buy one.
I'll play on the Xbox.
I have it on every. I own it on every console that I own in my house. There's well, except for the Wii. I've got it on my 360, my Xbox One, my PS4, and I will have it on my Vita when I buy a Vita. If 3DS had it, I'd buy it on 3DS. Keep doing what you're doing, Mojang.
All right, next item on the list.
Love you, Mojang. Mean it.
Next item on the list. It's rumored that PS4 is going to be releasing a 1 terabyte model console and possibly a new model that does not include the Blu-ray player, so like a digital only. So they filed patents, one for a console that was going to have a terabyte hard drive, and then another one that didn't say anything about not having a Blu-ray disc drive, but the weight specifications on it. It was about 200. It was about 300 grams lighter and used less power. And some smarter people than me determined that that's about how much a Blu-ray player weighs and about how much power that would take up. So having maybe a digital only concept idea coming into the console. So how do you guys see discless consoles being a part of the future?
It makes sense as we're moving toward a more digital age. I don't think we're anywhere near it being the norm because of how many people across the country do have constraints on their internet speed and their internet access. But it is wise for companies to start making that available for people who are kind of on the edge of purchasing a console but maybe want to go all digital. It's a good option.
I hope. What makes me nervous about this is I see this. I'm in the same boat with you. I see it. I see it happening. I see it. It's coming. Like I can't fight it. You know, it's gonna be here. There's more and more stuff that's being consumed digitally than from brick and mortar stores. But I'm so nervous that if this happens, we're gonna lose. I mean, and I know the death of brick and mortar stores is coming, but I just don't want it to happen right now. I just don't want it to come
When
in the
we're all
next.
living in the e-world, then it's not going to be a problem.
Yeah. I'll let you finish, then I'll.
Well, I mean, like, for me, there are instances where there are things outside of my control that I can't control, for lack of a better word, when I have everything digital. Like, if I need, if I want to access something without having, and I don't have the hard drive space to do it, I have to take off something that I'm playing before and reload it again. And I know that we're getting to the point now where that's kind of a moot point because you have to install everything anyway. But for me, I would just rather, like, when you're doing it cart based or whatever, however you want to say it, CD based or whatever. I just think about like my DS, like that's something that doesn't. I don't have to install games to play that. I can just play it off of the thing, and it kind of makes me upset even that we have to install everything 100% because it eats up so much memory. But I understand why it's going that direction. But go ahead and make whatever point you're making.
And we've talked a lot of times about how we often refer to the inevitable death of the brick and mortar store, but really, I don't think we're anywhere near that. I think there will come a day where the bulk of sales are digital, but I mean, we still haven't managed to eliminate brick and mortar stores in the sale of music. I mean, it's practically not a thing, but it is still a thing. People do still buy
True.
their music in physical copies.
And the interesting thing about that, before you move on, is the areas that have physical music stores are oftentimes areas that have zero problem with internet availability, because that's our biggest point with gaming is there are places with restricted internet access that downloading Master Chief Collection would eat through your entire allotment of bandwidth for that month. But those brick and mortar music stores often exist in big metropolises, like where it's kind of just a niche thing where you can go, and most of them exist because of records. People who are interested in records. So, do you think that physical stores, brick and mortar stores, will move more towards a collector's kind of range, where they sell new games, you can buy new CDs in those stores, but they also thrive in selling, SNES games?
Well, I think with music you have both the people who want the vinyl and all that stuff. Vinyl. How do you say it? Vinyl. And, sometimes I'm messing
Vinyl.
words up. Anyway, but you also have those stores in places that have the bad internet access, and that's why they exist. And I think you'll see the same thing in gaming. I think it'll be a two-pronged thing. They'll appeal to those who don't have good internet access, but they will also appeal to people who are collectors. And for me, I'm at a point where I will move digitally with some games if it becomes a cheaper option. As long as it stays the same, I won't. But with certain games like Master Chief, like Halo, I've got every Halo game except Halo Wars because it sucks.
I love that game.
On my shelf, and I can't imagine buying Halo 5 and not adding this disc to my beautiful Halo shelf.
I loved Halo Wars.
Did you ever play StarCraft?
No.
That's why you love Halo Wars.
But I wanted to speak to that. There's a point I wanted. Oh, the collector thing that you brought up. For me, I think